This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. And folks, I just got done work, had a nice shower, and here we are, July 7th, 2021. Tomorrow I turn 49. But tonight, on the eve of that, we are promoting an indie filmmaker. And I was happy to have him referred to me, and I'm happy to have him on here, folks. I give you the awesomely talented Michael. Am I going to screw that up? Matt.
Moutsatsos.
Moutsatsos.
Now you got it.
Moutsatsos. Okay, I got it. I'd never seen that before. And I was like, man, am I going to mess that up? Of course, I'm going to mess that up.
It's all good. It's all good.
Look at all those pictures behind you.
Oh, some posters, yeah.
Oh, The Butcher, that's your movie?
Yeah, there's a few of them. Of some movies that are in the work, and like I have Amityville and Amityville Legend. That's one of mine. That's going to be coming up in the future. I wrote the script, and it's been out. It's been out in festivals, and it's been winning awards.
Okay. Well, perfect. What a great background.
Thank you.
Well, a fellow named Phil Herman had referred me to you, and he's on my friends list on Facebook. I'm not real familiar with him, but he had asked if I would do the interview with you, and I said, absolutely, sure, And I know when I'm done here, I'm going to refer you over to Scotty McCoy of Slasher Scotty, because he's another guy that will definitely interview the indies, and because you guys don't always get the attention you deserve, so it's always nice to hear about these projects, and gives us a little something else to stir, because a lot of attention goes to movies that are on drink cups at McDonald's and Burger King.
Blockbusters.
Yeah, and some of those movies suck. I mean, stop and think about it. In 1998, the top grossing film, I think, was Armageddon. What a piece of shit, when we all know that The Big Lebowski the same year was a better film. Yeah. And everybody.
Dude, you're killing me. I hate that movie.
Yeah, and of course, in 1999, all the rave was Phantom Menace. We all know what a disappointment that was. But I don't know. It's funny how Office Space the same year has gained the cult following, and I enjoy that film a lot more.
Wow, we have really opposite tastes.
What do you mean opposite taste?
Well, you like The Big Lebowski, and I hate it.
Why do you hate The Big Lebowski? I think it's fucking awesome.
I thought it was a big snore fest. Sorry, guys.
Oh my goodness.
I get ribbed a lot of work for that. Yeah.
And you didn't like Office Space either?
I barely. Is that the same as the TV series?
No, that's The Office.
Oh, same crap.
You see, I hated Armageddon. Talk about a snore fest.
Okay.
And I hated Phantom Menace, and I was not one of the idiots that stood in line for it and wound up coming out disappointed after the result. Jar Jar Binks.
I didn't like the Phantom Menace, so we agree on that.
Right.
Jar Jar Binks was horrible.
Yeah. But I'm always going to champion The Big Lebowski and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas from that year.
Okay.
Yep. I many times I find I champion the smaller films and the bigger films, because I think as far as this year goes, I think the only big film I really I've seen that I was really interested in was Cruella, but that's because I'm a big Emma Stone fan. So
okay.
But other than that, I see film, whether I see them or not, a lot of times I don't care. But I usually try to go to the movies once a week and see something.
I used to be a big fan of going, pre-COVID. I did get a chance to go to see Spiral, the Book of Saw, in the theater.
Speaking of Snorefest, they're never going to equal the first Saw. I mean, let's face it,
Well, nobody's going to equal the first one.
But I think most of the sequels were lackluster at best, Spiral, despite having Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson, I had such high hopes, and I came away like, great. Like I was like, what a waste of money.
I didn't go in there with high hopes. I wanted to go in there with an open mind because, once you hear Chris Rock, in a Saw movie, but his acting was good. I mean, I didn't not have a problem with his acting. It's just that, we know what's going on. We know the premise. The first one was smarter. They were just piggybacking off of this one, and now they're planning on doing a few more. So,
You want me to tell you something I did like about the first Saw? Is it was nice to see Cary Elwes, because it was the first time we'd seen him in a while. We remember him from The Princess Bride, and
right.
And he was big famous from that. And sometimes it's nice to see some of these indie films where they'll dig up somebody that we might recognize from something, and it's
right.
like, oh, it's nice to see this person or see that person, and yeah, and so I remember when Cary Elwes was in that, it's like, it was just nice to see him, and once in a while you get one of these where they'll have somebody that you recognize or remember from something that you don't see all the time. The Cary Elwes is kind of featured a lot now, probably because of Saw.
Right.
He was in that shitty Black Christmas 2019 film, which I think he should have passed on, but nonetheless, it was nice to see him in Saw. But and sometimes I find they get to exercise their acting chops a little more than they might in a so-called blockbuster,
Correct.
Yeah. But enough about Cary Elwes. I want to get a little bit of your background, because it was nice that Phil had connected us, and I looked over your IMDb, and you work in the indie film circuit. Give us your background and what brought you to the indie film scene.
Basically, I started out like many folks on the other side of the camera. I was an actor my entire life. I'm from New York. At an early age, I was able to do Broadway, so I was in the play Cats.
I hope you weren't in the movie.
No, I didn't do the movie. Did not do the movie. The play was great, but not the movie. And then did some small parts here and there. I'm in the Warriors. Then I did, a few other little things here and there in New York. Then I moved out here. Long story short, I did, out here in Los Angeles. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, I had a bit part of that, and Star Trek Voyager, Pearl Harbor, things of that nature.
Cow.
I know.
I hate Pearl Harbor with a passion. I tell you something, when I come out of the theater, there were theater workers in there that know me well. And they came up to me and they took me aside and say, "Man, you're pissed. Take a moment to breathe." I wanted to take Michael Bay out in the back alley and beat the living shit out of him after that film, because all that film was two asshole soldiers fighting over a fucking nurse. That was it. And they made the Japanese the bad guys. The one line in that film that was important to anybody involved was, "Get away from me, you effing Jap." That was the one line that I remember from that movie, and I think that was the whole attitude behind the film. And the worst part was, I read a newspaper clipping where they said They were trying to figure out how they could sell this garbage to Japan. So they decided to sell it as a love story.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I think Pearl Harbor is every bit as racist as Birth of a Nation. And I don't care who argues with me. I would like to take a big massive shit on that film. I'm sorry you were part of it, but I hate that film with every ounce of passion in my body.
wow. Not a fan of the movie myself, but wow. Never heard it
Yep.
quite put like that, but
I would like to take a sledgehammer to it and do it right in front of Michael Bay, as if
oh wow.
as if he could do anything about it.
Wow. Okay.
Because, like, I mean, seriously, it was like, why not do a movie and have some three-dimensional Japanese characters in it and see it
you
from,
know,
I hated that movie. I hated, if I could quote Roger Ebert when he reviewed North, I hated that movie. That's what I think of Pearl Harbor. I hated that movie with every ounce of passion in my body. I would like to take every copy of Pearl Harbor, put it in a big pile, have every bum in the city take a massive shit on it, and then light it on fire. And then
oh my god.
and then come around with marshmallows and let everybody come in and roast them over top of the stench that is Pearl Harbor. I hate that movie. I'm sorry you were part of it, and I guarantee your movie, The Butcher, is so much better than that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
Tell us how you really feel about Pearl Harbor.
How I really feel? I would like to put it out like a cigarette underneath my shoe, right in front of Michael Bay. And if Michael Bay tried to stop me, God help him, you know? I hate that movie. I'd like to put it in my cat's litter box.
Wow.
But I don't think there's enough litter in there for the cat to cover up that hunk of shit of a movie.
All right.
Even my cat ran out of the room at the mention of Pearl Harbor. Even my cat hates it. Yeah. You want to hear more about me hating Pearl Harbor, or you want to talk about your awesome stuff?
I'd like to talk about me for a change. I mean, I'm told I'm a narcissist, but what do you think about me?
I think you're better than Pearl Harbor.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I had the money. I wish I had just the money, the budget to make a movie.
You know what? It don't matter how much of a low budget, like something like The Butcher has, it's still a better movie than Pearl Harbor. I'm sorry. And by the way, I've seen stuff by Michael Bay I liked.
Mm-hmm.
I thought The Island was underrated.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that one he did with The Rock? Pain and Gain. I thought that was underrated. And I actually thought The Rock, it was interesting how he went from being the strong guy to being a guy that was just trying to escape with his life.
Okay.
I'll give Michael Bay credit. I didn't mind those two films, but I mean, as much as I hated Armageddon, Armageddon didn't offend me. It just insulted my intelligence. But Pearl Harbor, I'm going to tell you, I was steaming and fuming when that movie was over. I'll tell you. That is nowhere near the war movie that Apocalypse Now or Platoon or Heartbreak.
Hamburger Hill.
I was going to say the one there, Andrew Garfield, that Mel Gibson made.
Oh right, yeah, no, I didn't see that movie. Yeah.
It was a great one as well.
I heard that was good.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor.
I did like the Island. I didn't see The Rock. Wasn't that like with Mark Wahlberg or something?
Oh, The Rock. The Rock wasn't bad. That was Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery and Ed Harris. That one wasn't bad. No,
I meant The Rock, the Dwayne Johnson guy.
Oh, the Pain and Gain one.
Yeah, I never saw that movie.
It was. I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to totally shit on Michael Bay, but I'm going to tell you what
The Rock was good. The
Mhm.
movie The Rock. The movie
Yep.
The Rock.
Yep. But Pearl Harbor, oh, it's kind of smeared Michael Bay with me. I'll tell you that. Yeah, yeah, and I'll tell you, Freddie Got Fingered won the Razzie that year, and for worst picture. And Freddie Got Fingered's a terrible, terrible movie, but at least they know it's a terrible movie. I would say Pearl Harbor was worse than that, because they're making excuses for their shit. Tom Green's not making an excuse for anything. He's just coming right out and saying, "Yeah, my movie's elephant tongue." But
Yeah, I never saw Freddie Got Fingered, but
you
yeah,
don't
I'll take
need
your
to.
word. I'll take your word for it.
But I think you're better than Pearl Harbor, and I think the stuff that you're involved in is better than Pearl Harbor.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Yes,
that. Thank you.
yes, I'll give you that. But I mean, Spider-Man, I didn't mind that. You mentioned that. The
Yep.
Warriors, it was interesting you mentioned that, because not only do I like the Warriors, I've had Apache Ramos on here 3 times, including last Sunday.
Okay.
And I've had David Harris on here, but they're involved with an Indiegogo called Zoo Crew 2, which is going to bring all the Warriors together.
Okay.
It's about a child actor who back in the 70s who's had bit parts in like French Connection and The Godfather, who
Okay.
got tired of tap dancing for people his mom would have him do auditions for, and that he saw the Warriors and inspired him to go out and start his own gang, which was not a violent gang, but it changed the way he looked at his life. And this Zoo Crew 2, which is what he called his gang, is
Mm-hmm.
the story behind that. And he's got all the Warriors like being part of this production, and I'm like, it's interesting you mentioned that. Where were you in the Warriors movie?
Do you remember a gang called the Baseball Furies?
Oh, I love the Baseball Furies.
Yeah, I was one of the Baseball Furies.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Everybody remembers the Baseball Furies.
That was the best one. The other one sucked. The other gang sucked. I'm sorry. The Lizzies and I don't know whatever some of the other ones were. They were like the Orphans or something, and they were kind of lame.
Oh. Well,
Great.
everybody remembers the baseball. And we just lost one of them too recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, you were one of the Baseball Furies. How cool.
Yeah. But I was like 19 years old, so that was like 100 years ago for me. But
You still have the costume?
no.
Where were you in Spider-Man?
I was one of General Slocum's majors. So there's a scene where the Green Goblin is at this bunker,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a couple of the majors. I have a photo of that. So I'm in the bunker and I get blown up. Let's put it that way.
Were you upset that you didn't get to kiss Kirsten Dunst upside down?
Oh Jesus! Don't get me started on. I don't want to badmouth people.
Oh, I thought she was pretty hot. But I will. You don't want badmouth people. I'll leave that. I'll let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So it was a good movie. It's just a shame of what Hollywood is doing, having to go thinking that Tobey Maguire all of a sudden was this old guy.
Mm-hmm.
Had to do Andrew Garfield, and the second one bombed so badly, and then they thought he was too old, to where they had to go to Tom Holland and do Spider-Man in high school. It's like, we know the story, we know how he got bit. Can we just move on?
Yeah.
It's like the same rehashing as like with the Fantastic Four. Enough already. We know how they got there. We know Doctor Doom. We know that they were in outer space. Enough already.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, please, don't you have anything better to do with your money? Please send it my way. Please, please. You've done nothing but crappy Fantastic Four movies. Please
Oh
send the
yeah,
money.
you're right.
Send the money my way, please.
Yeah, and everything today is woke. You should see what they're doing to Masters of the Universe right now. It's embarrassing because I used to watch the show growing up.
Right.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
It looks bad. It looks bad what they're doing now. And yeah, I wish they would stop that crap too, but we need to look at your film because I'm noticing your
Go
first
ahead.
credit here as a director is Stalkerazzi.
Stalkerazzi was my first movie.
Talk about making your first movie.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know shit from Shinola.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you. I have done a body of work. Up until The Butcher, I did 7 movies. The Butcher is my 8th movie. They were my film school. I have a really good friend of mine who I don't want to put his name on the air right now. He's a really big celebrity, but he told me, he said, you went to, that's your film school. Enjoy it. You saved yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars. I taught myself everything. I taught myself editing. I taught myself sound, lighting, this, that, and the other thing, which you need to do as a filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Know every aspect of it. I may not know everything as well as other crew members, but I know how to talk. I know the lingo. I know what's going on. I'm not just, what do I do, folks? And blah blah blah. I don't let anybody else, try to take over my reins or anything like that. So I mean, I know where I am right now. Today, I know where I am right now. Back then, I didn't. Yeah, it was. Again, it was very difficult. I did have premieres for my movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting. It was an interesting movie.
How do you feel about this finished product, especially seeing it at a premiere?
I'm always nervous.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a premiere. I had premieres, but I didn't really do anything as far as publicly, more beyond 200 or 300 people or whatever like that. I mean, I didn't go to festivals or anything like that with my first 7 movies. I didn't think they were ready enough, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Even up until my 7th, 6th movie, whatever it was, I was still honing my craft. I mean, I'm still learning. My movie today that I'm currently working on, Ravage.
Mm-hmm.
That's different than The Butcher. The Butcher, I wanted it to look a certain way, 70s genre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of thing. With that movie, there was a script, of course, but everything, I'm in The Butcher. I'm the lead guy in The Butcher. So why not why not put myself in the movie?
Look, it works.
It works.
It works.
To be honest with you, with The Butcher, I had a crew. And Maria Olsen, I love her. She played my mom. She did a gratis. I took her out for a nice steak dinner and everything, the lines were ad-libbed.
Okay.
Every one of my lines was ad-libbed. How I grabbed the people, how I tortured them, what I was going to say at the moment. Everybody knew why we were there and the formulas and the marks we had to hit. But because I was wearing so many hats, being directing myself, and that was pretty difficult as well. So I had people that, look, just go with me. Just follow my lead. And I know where we were and I know how to get it. So I wasn't like wavering off track or anything, but I just wanted that natural flow. I wanted, like, with the first couple I kidnapped, the French couple, and that I'm just making fun of them with their French accents and and things like that. I knew where I wanted I wanted the scene, the story to go. So I told everybody, just go with me, just wing this with me. And then, of course, the scenes that I'm not in, obviously everything was, to script and stuff like that. But I just wanted him to be a little different. So I
Hmm.
said, let me try and see if this formula will work for myself as an actor, and just basically ad lib the entire movie. My
Hmm.
scenes, my scenes were ad libbed.
Well, that's awesome. Well, The Butcher's your third feature after Stockerazzi and Barker Daniels. And The Butcher, I think, is the one you're most known for, because when I type in your name, The
Right.
Butcher is the one that seems to come up most.
Oh,
And
okay, cool.
yep. And talk about getting Marie Olsen in this movie.
Uh, Facebook friends.
Mm-hmm.
I reached out to her. I always wanted to work with her. She always wanted to work with me. I really didn't have anything for her, to sink her teeth into. She's not in The Butcher a lot, but I did want her to play my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, since I'm obviously the lead in it, I wanted to have an actress across from me that can go one on one.
Uh-huh.
And then we made her up, and stuff like that. And I just reached out to her, and she very busy woman, busy schedule. I finally got her, and we shot her right away. And like I said, one of the nicest ladies in the business. I love you, Marie Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
And she did it gratis, so not a dime. So I love her. I love her for that.
Yes. You got a lot of tense scenes in here, and I'm sorry, I have not seen the movie. I've only seen the trailer.
Okay.
But like I said, I like what is this film available on Blu-ray?
It's not available on Blu-ray. It was available on Amazon Prime
Okay.
in the United States and in the UK. And my distributor, as one of the distributors, Azif Asbar and Phil Herman, they were doing. They had their own production, their own channel, if you will, Avail. It was Avail Entertainment, and they had their own platform. So they had their own streaming platform, and it's no longer in existence, because you were able to watch it via Roku
Mm-hmm.
and iTunes and this, that, and the other thing. So they are going to put the Butcher's not on Amazon right now. It's going to go back onto Amazon and Tubi, I just found out, and some other platforms. But no, it did not get a Blu-ray touch. No.
You see, I'm a physical media guy, and this looks like it's right up my alley. That's why I
Right.
say, you
Yeah, yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, because I watched the trailer last night and I was like, this looks really good. And yes, it does look very 70s, Like
Right.
Rob Zombie does a lot of callbacks to the 70s, And I
Hmm.
could see that with this film, You got a lot of tense scenes where these people are strung up, and there's a lot of blood. Was Texas
This
Chainsaw, huh?
no, I was just going to say the Butcher had it took a long time because I had a problem with the hard drive,
Mm-hmm.
the hard drive that I had, and
Yeah.
I lost footage, and I have, it's shot digitally, so I had the discs. But what I did was I only downloaded them into my Final Cut. I didn't save the film on the discs. So I had the beginning of the movie. I had Maria Olsen. We just shot the ending of the movie at the party scene. There were certain key shots that I lost. I went in and I refilmed and made them better and made them more horrific, if you will.
Okay.
The kidnapping scenes, the torture scenes, the tying up, the beating up. So that really, upped the level of the movie a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the original cut of it before we reshot, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, yeah, this is a nice film. And then we reshot everything with my friends, and I said, let's just go in there and do what we have to do. And then bam, we just went for it. I mean, I shoot a baby in the movie, not me,
Whoa.
but one of the guys has a baby wrapped up in a towel and he's got a gun to the baby. And I'm like, do we do this or do we not do this? And I asked everybody and they said, just do it. Just do it. So the implication, bam, and we shot a baby. So sorry,
Oh,
guys.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, it is a daring move, but I'm looking at the photos for this. I love that their close-up shot with you with the orange tree-looking thing behind you there.
Oh, these? My wall?
uh, no, I mean
Oh,
the
in the
picture on
butcher.
IMDb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and I'm looking at that, and there's one picture. You got a guy strung up, standing strung up.
Yeah.
And I see one where you got this woman, or looks like she's got blood on her head. She's got red bandana wrapped around her mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about getting actors and actresses prepared for scenes like that.
You know, you have to get people that really love the genre.
Uh-huh.
Believe it or not, when I reach out to women,
Mm-hmm.
they're not really keen about doing that for some reason up front. Everybody wants to look beautiful. Everybody wants this. Everybody, I'm like, come on, you're actors. You need to do this. You need to do that. You're either going to go for it or thank you very much, and I move on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I try to write. I had a script that I was writing to just for two women. I wanted Maria Olsen and Eileen Dietz to be in the film
Oh,
together.
I've interviewed
Everybody,
Eileen twice.
she had a little cameo in a film of mine I did called The Exorcism of Dimitri. It was a short.
Okay.
And you know, I got her in that movie. But you know, because I hear all the time women over the years, there's no roles, there's no roles, there's no roles. Okay, I reach out to women. I have like, okay, I got this, I this, and this. The mom's a little different. She's not your typical mom. She's a little quirky. She's a little this. She's a little that. Oh no, thank you. We'll pass. Um, you know, but it's a meaty role. They've read the script. Yeah, but you know, I don't want to be that type of mom. Okay, well, you're complaining there's no roles. I'm giving you the role of a lifetime, and yet you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be in it. So what are we doing here, folks? You
Yep,
know,
I hear you.
I don't get it. The guys want to go in. The guys want to get all bloody. The guys want to get, you know, all that. And women are like, no, honey, I don't want you in a bikini. No, I don't want you on the beach. No, I don't want you to be beautiful. No, I don't want you to do that. And it's like, for me, it's very, very, very difficult. I don't want to use the same people that are in everybody's independent horror film. I want new blood. I don't want the same scream queens. I don't want the same bad acting. I don't want the same where it looks like you hired your cousin or your friend. I want actors that have got some meat that are going to tear into the script. I don't, you know, I just don't want because somebody has a following or somebody might have some type of a slight name in the industry or whatever. I don't give a shit about that. I couldn't care less who's following you and how many followers you have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not right for my movie. You're not in my movie. I don't give a shit.
Oh well, man, I love Eileen Dietz. So you got a good one
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
I mean, Eileen, you know, who doesn't love Eileen? You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but outside of her, I'm just saying there's, you know, in the independent horror genre, I've gotten to know a lot of people and I
Yeah.
keep seeing the same people over and over and over and over again. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, you know, congratulations. I'm glad you're getting the work.
Mm-hmm.
You're not right for me.
Yeah. Well, the butcher looks great. How long did it take you to shoot that?
It took me basically about a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
Because I didn't take off. I wasn't able to take off for 4 months or 5 months. Typically, what you would do, and other actors would take off the same amount of time. If you have a big budget, you're paying I of course I pay people, but I did not pay everybody up at front to take off at the same amount of time. We worked on everybody's days off, and it so
Mhm.
happened that the actors I was working with had the same days off as I did. So every Monday and Tuesday for a year and a half,
Mhm.
we all filmed.
You know, and going back, how do you find like we're going back to the woman I was talking about where she was tied up there and you're getting ready to butcher her or whatever, and she got
Right,
blood
right,
on her.
yeah, right, right.
Where do you find people that to do stuff like that? Because you had told me you find it hard to find, especially women, to do scenes like that.
Well, that particular scene, that the French woman was played by Carolyn DeGrave,
Mm-hmm.
and she was one of the producers
Oh, okay.
of the Butcher.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave her a small little part, you know. Um, so if you notice in the Butcher, though, there's more men that are being tortured and kidnapped than there are women.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say outside of my mom and Caroline, and if I'm thinking about it, I don't recall another woman in the film
You torture
that
your
had.
poor mom in this?
Oh no, no, Maria Olsen comes back as a dead corpse. So she's in the bathtub of bloody water, red water, and she's talking to me. I did have another scene with her. There was a scene that did not make the cut. I'm in a
Mm-hmm.
dog cage, and she lets me out of the dog cage. And there's a real steak. It's a raw steak on the floor, and
Uh-huh.
I'm eating the raw steak. I had it in my mouth. I'm chewing on it. I said, guys, you're going to do this in one take. I'm not doing this again. I'm eating and gnawing on it. She's stroking my hair, and what a lovely boy, and blah, blah, blah. Didn't make it into the movie, unfortunately.
Oh, gee.
I
Maybe
know.
maybe she should have given you some salt and pepper with it or something.
A little, yeah. So it was steak tartare, it's like.
So would you say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was one of your influences on this?
Well, it was. I had a friend of mine that's in Boston, Damian Coletti, and
Uh-huh.
he did a VO for me at the beginning of it. The movie you are now watching, blah blah blah, is based on, I made it sound like it was a true story. So
Mm-hmm.
it's even got the opening like John LaRoquette did for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So that, and what's his name that did the original Maniac.
Oh, William
I
Lustig.
William Must, but the actor that played him,
Oh, Joe Spinell.
Spinell.
Yeah.
So a lot of reviewers were comparing me to Joe Spinell,
Oh,
which,
that's not
yeah,
bad.
no, it's not.
That's a major compliment.
I was like, oh yeah, man. It's like, oh yeah, hell yeah. I don't know if I can curse on your show, but fuck
Go
yeah.
ahead, go ahead. I cursed up.
Okay,
Jake, did you hear
okay.
me during the Pearl Harbor rant?
Yeah, I know, but
Go
yeah,
ahead.
so that was pretty dope. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So to get compliments like that from reviewers.
Mm-hmm.
So then I let the Butcher out. I let it into the film festivals. I started it out slowly. I was never that guy. I was never that guy that was winning things in my life. I never came in first in anything. I never had. And then all of a sudden, now all this time later, the Butcher won 57 awards.
Mm-hmm. Well, look at this. You're not going to get any lower than Pearl Harbor. Sorry, I had to throw that out there. Talk about working with Caroline DeGraves.
I love her. I love Caroline. She's off now doing her own thing,
Mm-hmm.
but she's a great actress.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Caroline. Great actress, and a really nice person that you can talk to. And yeah, I mean, it was nice. It was nice.
I might get her on here, give this film a little further promotion.
Cool. Nice. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
let's talk about Ravage. What can you share
Yeah.
with us about this? Because this is currently filming,
Yeah,
and
I was filming at 6 this morning. Sorry.
oh,
Um,
yeah.
we've been filming at the LA River on and off for about 4 months now.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing this movie. It started out again like The Butcher. It started out as a short. It was COVID. I was getting bored to death in my house.
Yep.
I wanted to come up with an original idea. It was originally one person. It was a 25-minute short. Phil says to me, make it into a feature film. Thank you, Phil. I said, all right. There's one particular guy that I had in my other movies. I'm not going to go into certain situations, but he was fired.
Okay.
I got two other actors, blah, blah, blah. I gave them some producers credit, blah, blah, blah. We were filming their stuff and didn't, have any inkling about this and the other thing. One day they came into my house. They were supposed to do a scene together that night. We don't think this would happen. We don't think that guy would do this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. So basically, you're telling me you want to quit. I said, do me a favor, guys. It's been nice knowing you. Get the fuck out of my house. I fired the both of them. Had to restart the entire fucking movie. I had like 10, 15 minutes worth of the movie, not with them in it, obviously, because it's not just about, there's other things in the movie. There's CGI, there's stock footage, there's a lot of other things going on. So I have these two wonderful new actors, and I added a part for a woman. So Jake Scazzaro and Ed Gage are my two leads. And the female that's in it is Alexandra Faye. I'm going to butcher up her last name, Sadijian, I believe.
You'll probably did better than me on getting that name.
I'm looking at the poster right now. So I'm sorry.
But she's beautiful too.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But these three guys, my lead guys, are so fantastic in this movie. We're almost done. They have the two main guys have a really big, massive scene for 3 days. They have a 3-day shoot, and Alexandra's wrapped. And then I have a really big shoot on the 26th at the river. 30 extras to be Ravage creatures. And there's a big, huge fight scene and stuff going on. And the call is like 7 a.m. But anyhow, it's become a wonderful, wonderful film. And I have really good actors. And I'm really happy that I have them. And I'm so proud that I have these actors.
Okay.
So I'll just, in a nutshell, it's basically starts out like Contagion.
Okay.
If you're familiar with the Steven Soderbergh 2011.
I haven't seen it, but I know what film you're talking about.
Okay. So I took the situation that we're in now with COVID. I expanded on it a little bit. Trump has a little bit of a voiceover, talking about one of his political bullshit. He didn't believe in it and whatnot. And then I evolved the mutation, and it's now 5 different strains. It wipes out the world. The world blames each other. So there's World War III that goes on.
Okay.
Cut to this guy thinks he's the only person left on the planet. I am legend. So we move to that. Obviously, he's not the last person on the planet, but there are things and twists and turns and stuff like that go on. There's lots of flashback scenes. I had a special scene this morning. I can't put his name out there, but right now, he's a really good rock star, a friend of mine, that had a cameo in the movie this morning that we shot at the LA River. And so I'm like really stoked about the movie. And it's getting there. I'm at an hour and 20 minutes, and I'm not even done with the movie yet. And then just give it, I have an assembly, and then just give it a really nice cut along the way. I score it myself. I use art. I don't create the music. I have art. I have art list, and then I have friends of mine that are in rock bands. I have a guy in Canada, and I bought some of his music from his band. And I have another guy that wrote the title song to The Butcher, Jack London, and he's writing a theme song for Ravage.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I do, and then I do the music that way. And I'm constantly, as I'm editing, I'm changing. No, it needs to be this. It needs to be more of this. It needs to be darker. It needs to be more of this. It could only have, certain light elements, but, not too crazy with the music and stuff like that. So I wanted to have a certain tone. And so it's getting, I mean, every day I'm on the editing and trying out different music and trying out Foley and special, because Artlist now has Foley and special effects. And so I joined Artlist again.
Well, you're also acting in this now.
Well,
You were
a
the
cameo.
lead, okay, because you're the lead in The Butcher, of course.
Yeah.
What made you take this cameo?
I just, everyone, I wasn't going to be in Ravage.
Okay.
And everybody's like, you got to do a Quentin Tarantino or an Alfred Hitchcock or, whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, what can I do? What can I, this, it's basically 3 people. There's flashback scenes, there's other things that are going on without giving the movie away, but it takes place in the year 2032. Where am I? So I said, all right, I'll give myself a small little part. There's something that happens towards the end of the movie. I wrote my own lines, of course. I had, my friends filming me, and I just gave myself a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, cameo kind of scene. And I was like, okay, it felt right. It was in the right place in the film. Had I done something that was going to take away from the vibe of the movie, I would not have done that to her. To me, the movie is more important than I am to be in the movie. I'm not that conceited to be in the movie. I didn't give myself a lead part, obviously. So, I mean, I did with The Butcher, but I didn't with this particular movie. It needed guys that were like the 2 gentlemen that I have in the movie now. It needed them, what they brought to the table. I could have done it, but again, it would have been so freaking hard to do. I don't have the right look for what these guys are going for in this movie. And it would have been wrong if I was starring in the movie. It would have taken away from the movie. That's all I want to say.
Well, I was going to say, talk about going from The Butcher and following up with Ravage, and coming up with this next project.
Well, the next project was going to be Amityville Legend. There's 41 people in it. I postponed that because of COVID. We were supposed to film.
Everybody postponed stuff because of COVID.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
We were supposed to film it in January. And there's kids involved in it. And mine, unlike the thousands of other Amityville wannabe movies that are out there, because to me they're all crap. Everybody's just taking the name because it's a public domain. I go to 1973. I start before. I'm a year before. I'm not allowed to, which it's not. I'm not allowed to mention the Lutz's names. I'm not about the other family. I wasn't allowed to mention. You can't film in that house. You can talk about Amityville and stuff. So basically, for me, if you will, it starts in England, actually, in vaudeville, 1925, and then goes to 1973. And then from 73, it goes to today. So I was writing a small short called My Friend Billy. And if you can see the ventriloquist doll that's behind me in the poster. So Billy, I incorporated my friend Phil Herman again, said, can you take the storyline of My Friend Billy and incorporate into an Amityville movie? And I was like, I don't know, and Amityville is one of my favorite movies. And so I literally wrote Amityville in 2 weeks. And I sent it out to people. Everybody loved it. I sent it out to film festivals because I did not know you can just send a script. Apparently, you can send a script, you can send a trailer, you can send whatever you want to film festivals as long as you pay. Amityville Legend has won 24 awards, 24 film festival awards, trophies, laurels, certificates, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, oh damn, I guess it's pretty fucking good. Couldn't do it, I mean, because the money is just, I did Indiegogo. It was in the middle of COVID. Nobody had a dime. Everybody was broke. Nobody had $1. Nobody had $5. I only raised $2,000 on Indiegogo. I tried to GoFundMe. GoFundMe was for shit. So it's to do something nice and right. $100,000, $75,000 would be lovely in a perfect world to do something really, really nice and solid. Of course, paying all the actors and this, that, and the other thing. But I was like, I can't. Ravage isn't going to cost me that. Probably be under 20 grand with Ravage, So I decided to do Ravage.
Okay. Well, I do know that you have the Butcher 2 fresh meat.
Right.
Yeah. And I looked over this and I'm like, you got Julianne Prescott is going to be in this. Now, I am familiar with her. She's beautiful. Talk about casting her in this.
Again, people that I've reached out to in the horror community, in the independent community, I've reached out to people. I sent them the script. Again, by the time, somebody has agreed to be in it, and by the time we actually wind up shooting it, can probably be two different things. People come and go. Maybe other people's schedules aren't right with my schedule when I'm ready to do it. So I love her. I love the fact that she wants to be a part of it. I think she is a really good actress. If she's in it by the time I'm ready to do it, I'd love to have her. She can bring a lot to the table. And like, again, you have people attached. Like even major movies have people attached, and then they leave and they fall at the wayside, and for this, that, and the other thing. If so certain people that are attached, if I still have them, I would still love to have them. Julie, if it's not this movie, perhaps it's another movie. I'm always going. I use a lot of my friends over and over and over again. I'm that kind of guy. I will use you. Now you got to be right for the movie.
Yep.
I'm just not going to stick you in because you're my best friend, and hey, but this is not your cup of tea. You suck in the part, But that, other than that, I reach out to my friends first. I'm very loyal to crew members, to actors, to makeup and hair and whatever. So I'm that guy.
Well, I noticed you got Marie Olsen back scheduled for this, and even Caroline DeGrave's coming back for more torture.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
She didn't have enough torture the first time. We're going back for seconds,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if she would just be a producer. I don't know about a part in the Butcher 2 Fresh Meat. Because she's already established in the first one and killed in the first one.
Oh.
So yeah. So I mean, right now she's off doing her own thing, and I'm over here doing my own thing. And if the train tracks and the trains meet again, that's great.
So how far along are you? It says pre-production right now for the Butcher 2. Pre-production of Butcher 2.
I'm not anywhere near.
Okay.
I did that before Ravage. I have people attached to Amityville. I've got the entire cast on Amityville already, locked in. Again, by the time I get there, maybe if it's a year from now, maybe if it's 2 years from now, if I'm in the Amityville Legend mode, where my brain is at to concentrate to do that, another year to spend on that movie. I'm no spring chicken. So it's if I'm there and the people are attached to it and they can make it, fantastic. Love to have you guys back.
Hmm.
If not, I understand actors have other projects. They can't wait for me. I'm not the end all, for whatever. Yeah, I just wish everybody luck. I want everybody to work. I want everybody to, as they are doing now, everybody is working again. Thank God.
Hmm.
Um, who knows what's going to happen by next year with this other variant? But
Oh,
that being
gee, please.
the Delta Burke variant.
Oh.
Um, who knows? Right now, though, I'm as we all are living in just the now moment, without planning too far in advance. Um, it is what it is. Ravage is where I'm at right now. Ravage is my head. Planning on a premiere at a place that I had my other premieres at. On La Brea, there's an acting school at Live Theater. They have a 200 screen. I've had many a premiere there before that can hold over 100 people. I so I mean, my thoughts are that way, and I'm thinking about March. I don't want to do anything through the holidays.
Hmm.
January is Sundance. People are
Hmm.
out of town, so February, March would be kind of cool to shoot for, as far as doing some type of Los Angeles screening / premiere, that kind of thing. So that's where my head is wrapped around now. Once I'm finished wrapping and locked with Ravage, but I'm just in a Ravage state of mind right now.
Hmm. Well, your Animeville film is not even listed here. Do you mind telling us who you have attached to that?
Amityville is on IMDb.
Oh, it's not
It
under
is.
it's not under you.
It should be under me.
Hmm.
I'm on IMDb Pro. It's there. There's like 41 people there. I haven't gone to that site. I'm about to see, but it should still be there on IMDb.
Hmm. No, I'm not seeing anything.
I'm not on. Well, I have my computer on, so let me just quickly take a sneak peek to IMDb.
What'd
You
you say
type
it?
in as Amityville Legend.
Okay, I'm going to.
Amityville Legend. Right there, Amityville Legend 2021 in development. There's a poster of a guy with a shotgun going to a house that's got a cross on it.
Yeah,
That's
I
not the.
see. I see that.
Yeah, that's not the poster. The poster's changed now. It's a different poster. See primarily the primary cast, and there's everybody. Everybody's in there. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, you got. Did you? Are you there?
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah,
found
yeah,
it.
yeah. Okay, cool. Rock and
Okay.
roll. Rock and roll.
Okay. Well, let's talk about my friend Billy, which you mentioned earlier, and I clicked on this and I.
Well, my friend Billy is now Amityville Legend.
Oh, is it?
I'm
Oh,
I'm
okay.
Phil asked me to merge the movies together. So it's basically, it was about this boy that is a loner and has an imaginary friend.
Okay.
That's how it started. And it progressed to Amityville Legend. He finds this ventriloquist dummy that actually works. I have it.
Yeah.
Okay, and it actually works. You can put the hand in the mouth, moves, and everything like that. Hence, how it starts in vaudeville, and the movie starts us off in 1930 in Hollywood vaudeville, and I have actors playing them, the period films and stuff like that, and then it moves. There's murders and things that happen, and you really don't know. I mean, these murders are going on, and there just happens to be this doll that's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not by any stretch of the imagination. It's not Chucky. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
doll does not come. The doll does not come to life. There's no little footprints walking around. It's not that kind of a movie. But
Mm-hmm.
the doll is involved. It's a portal to hell.
Mm-hmm.
if you will. And that's how I was able to merge the two films together. And yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the cast right now. Some of the guys I just threw on to, like Mark Cherney. I
Mm-hmm.
gave him a little bit part in Ravage. I have some other people that my lead Jake Sikoro
Mm-hmm.
that's in Ravage is the main guy in in 1973 of Amityville.
Mm-hmm.
So, I use the same people back and forth and stuff like that. So I wanted to work with him. Lots of people wanted to work with me. I didn't have too much to offer a lot of people in Ravage. Sorry, guys. But everybody that's on there, if you're still with me, if we ever get around to doing Amityville, I'd love to have you all because you guys are all fantastic. I even have people that said you don't even have to pay me because they knew that a film in lieu of they held back their salary to try to help me get money to do Amityville. So I had
Mm-hmm.
about 3 or 4 actresses that said, no, we're good on that. I just want to be in your movie. I want to work with you. So yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. I mean, and Amityville Legend is it's not a small film by any stretch.
Mm-hmm.
It's like about 100. I want to say 100 pages, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's lots of, as you know, with any Amityville, if you just took the first two or the remake with Ryan Reynolds, I mean, that's a lot. That's an undertaking. That's a big undertaking to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do schlock. I don't want to do crap with it. I'm not Amityville Shark. I'm not Amityville Shark Island. I'm not Amityville shit on a shingle. Just to get the just to get the name out there.
Mm-hmm.
I have Allison Yapel from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood attached to the movie. She's the lead girl. So it's a big undertaking, and if I've got the money, we film tomorrow basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Phil Herman's attached to it. Caroline DeGrave is attached to it. As producers and stuff like that. And, again, if it happens I postponed it to January of next year. So if that happens, rock and roll. If I'm in that mindset again, if I have the money, that's all it is. It's show me the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything else, show me the money.
I want to look behind you there. Show off some of those posters and whatnot. I mean, I know you got the butcher up there.
Right.
Let's look at these. I like the arrangement there.
What I did for like 10 years, I was an autograph collector.
Uh-huh.
I had friends of mine that were photographers, and they told me you can go out to premieres. So for 10 years, from 2000 to 2010, every time there was a Hollywood premiere, every time somebody got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I would go to conventions. I would go to the Hollywood Collectors Show. I would go to all these cons, horror cons and yada, yada, yada. So I have probably about 500 posters, 800 8x10s, all signed by people. This is just some in my office. I have them throughout I have a theater in my house.
I see the House of Sand and Fog behind you. Did you meet Jennifer Connelly?
I did. I actually got her to sign it. She was very difficult.
Oh, how difficult? What do you mean?
Like not a nice person to difficult to sign it.
Oh.
Yeah. She's no Tom Cruise, let me tell you.
I heard Tom Cruise is great, and I heard John Travolta and Matt Damon were wonderful too. Johnny Depp, I heard, is nice.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a few out there that are really good signers, and then there's people out there that are downright assholes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Who do you find that were the most approachable, easiest celebrities?
My number one go-to would have to be Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Because he shows up at a premiere 2 hours before and makes sure that every single person gets the photo and gets the signature, avoids the press, talks to handles his fans first. I've got personal pictures of me and him together.
Yeah.
A certain friend of mine had used one of his songs. Their band was in Mission Impossible, the first one. So he told me one day when you're at a premiere, hey, tell Tom you're a friend of mine, and he just stopped, started talking to me, and people like, who's this dude talking to Tom Cruise? And so I mean, it felt like 10 minutes, but I'm sure it was like a minute. But he was just very nice and very sweet. Travolta, people like that. Will Smith is very nice. I never met Johnny.
I heard Jack Nicholson is nice.
I got him once. I got him once. I was at the Something's Got to Give premiere. Everybody on the poster, Keanu, everybody except Diane Keaton. She was squirrely. She just like ran into her limo and I was like, all right, calm down.
I don't understand that.
Yeah. There's sometimes where the studio, their people tell them not to sign. There are times their publicist or their own publicist says don't sign. And if you guys are afraid that people are going to sell this shit on eBay, which I don't, I have never, ever, ever in 10 years.
I've never done it either.
I've never sold my shit on eBay. I'm not those guys. We used to call them autograph hounds, and they all had street names and everything. Look, I have one photo of you. The dude next to me's got 30. Who the fuck is selling this shit on eBay? Sign the fucking thing.
I would tell those managers and whatnot. I said, "Who do you think pays the bills?"
Right. I did work at a restaurant that's no longer in existence called the Silver Spoon, and it's now Connie and Ted's in West Hollywood, California, that's where Quentin Tarantino. I was there, gave the script to Robert Forster. So it's that place. It was old school. It was Shelley Winter. It was the house of Shelley Winters, Marty Landau. You never knew who was coming in. I waited there for 20 years. So I've waited on these people for 20 years. So I used to bring this case that had like 1,000 photographs because you never knew. One day Philip Seymour Hoffman came in, and it was Roseanne. There was Farrah Fawcett, and so you're waiting on these people, and then character actors from movies that people wouldn't even know. Like the second down or the third down, and I'd have them sign my shit for me. And it was a great place. It's now called Connie and Ted's. Not that I'm plugging them, but the Silver Spoon is no longer there. But when you've got Quentin Tarantino and you've got Laura Dern and her mom and all these wonderful, wonderful people, and they're all Stella Stevens. So when you're dealing with old school and new school, Johnny Depp was there before I started collecting autographs. Marty Landau actually brought him in when they were doing Ed Wood. So I had his signature on a piece of paper, but I lost it. But then I had a friend of mine that got me Johnny's autograph, so he signed it for me. But
do I dare ask who the worst signers were? Who were the worst encounters?
I've got a shit list of people. I don't know. I mean, normally privately, maybe I would tell you. I don't want to throw that out there right now because I am a filmmaker.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to be. Let's stay with the positive people.
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure you and I know a list of who the same.
Put it this way, I know I used to look at a magazine called Autograph Collector.
Right.
And I know what names were positive, and I know what names were on the shit list. Like I know, for example, like I said, Tom Cruise, John Travolta, Johnny Depp, Matt Damon,
Ben Affleck, J-Lo. These are all wonderful people.
I never heard that about J-Lo, but I haven't heard anything about J-Lo, to be honest. But those ones I heard were great. I heard Al Pacino's nice,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are people that will say no, but then there are people that go out of their way to show how much of an asshole they are. I get the no part. I get the not tonight. I get, I'm busy. I gotta run. But for me, there's like, if you're at a premiere and you're plugging whatever piece of crap you're plugging, or you
Mhm.
have your new album that comes out and you're plugging that crap, who the hell do you think is paying the tickets to make you where you are today?
Yep.
I'm not asking you at a restaurant. I'm saying when you're there to plug your product, sign.
Yep.
I'm not
Yep.
running into you at a restaurant. Oh, man, can you sign? I'm not fanboying on you. I
Mhm.
have respect for that.
Yep.
But when you're there to promote your movie or your CD or your this or your that, whatever you're doing, sign, man.
Mhm.
Just sign.
Yep, I hear ya. Yeah, how crushing it would be for somebody to actually. Now, I also understand
Yeah.
where some people like I know with Sean Connery, Mel Gibson, and Robert Redford, heard that they're reluctant to sign because people signing their are selling their autograph. I can understand that. I don't call that being rude. I understand where they're coming from, but there are some people, some celebrities, really they need a few box office bombs for them to realize, hey, they're
Well, like Adam Sandler told me. I said, Adam, I'm not going to put this on. He goes, I don't give a shit what you do with it. He was really nice about it. Then you have people that will do it, but they only do it for the almighty dollar.
mm-hmm.
They're there at the autograph collector's show. They're there at the Comic-Con or the Star Trek convention. Hence, you know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That will only do it for the money. Which I've been to many of those conventions and I've paid and I've plopped down a lot of money. There was one actress, I'm not going to say her name, but
Okay.
she was in a very popular TV show in the 70s.
Okay.
And I paid $50 a piece for 3 photos. And because I had some of the other actors that were on there, it was like a cast photo, it wasn't just her by herself. And I said, may I take a picture? And some of them charge and some of them don't. Some of them will charge $10 or $15. Well, this particular lady, I just gave you $150. You had the audacity to ask me for another $50 to take a photo with you. And I said, I'm good. Thank you very much. And I walked away.
Wow. I've never had a bad experience with anybody. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
I just started doing the conventions in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And I've told the story before. I had Lisa Langlois from class of 1984 on my
Mm-hmm.
show twice, and she invited me to assist her
Okay.
at Horrorama in Toronto. I could not say no to that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And she and I are still close friends and remain so since. And that was an amazing experience. I love the horror film cons because I'm going to tell you, the fans are the best.
Yeah.
They're the best. And I through Lisa, I've met a lot of interesting people, and everybody so far has been polite. And I'm hoping I don't run into that because I'm one of these people. I don't take rudeness off of people.
Right.
you know, I am one to call people out, but nonetheless, everything so far has been wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things, like I said, a lot of the people at the cons, I've been to one Comic Con and that was great. But sometimes I find right now there's a lot of people that are getting extremely pricey.
Yeah.
You mentioned Star Trek. I heard that William Shatner is extremely expensive. I'm like,
That's what I'm
uh,
talking about. It's
yeah,
like,
like,
look, schmuck, your autograph's not worth $150. Calm down.
yeah. And I'm trying to think who's the Hawaii. He's always on the Howard Stern show, the Asian guy from Star Trek. Uh,
George Takei?
yeah, George Takei. Even he thinks that Shatner is overcharging. So, you know, I'm quite frankly, I'd much rather get George Takei's autograph than William Shatner. No offense to William Shatner, but
Yeah.
when people are charging that kind of money for their autograph, I'm like, okay, do you understand that these are people that aren't working your style of job?
Right.
Yeah. Like John Travolta, for example, was at a con not too long ago here, and I was surprised that his autograph was actually affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have any stories to tell about being at the cons? Like anything that stand out to you?
I did when the butcher was
Hmm.
in Days of the Dead in North Carolina. I flew out there. It opened the festival.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so I got to see um, a lot of the like Danielle Harris was there, and all these other actors and actresses from all these. I Tom Savini was there, and
Hmm.
like all these other people were there, and I wasn't on the line to get their autographs. They were at the conventions, and my film was in the festival, so I'm not going to go up there and say, "Hey, I signed this photo for me from Halloween," whatever. I was trying to play it, more that I wasn't a fan. I was just, a filmmaker.
Hmm.
So, but I had a great time. It was a great convention, and then I was also in Shock Fest in Vegas,
Hmm.
and my movie was nominated twice there. And I had a friend of mine, Matt Resvali, that runs it, and so I was in two categories: Best Picture and Best Actor.
Uh-huh.
So I was in Vegas. This was in 2019. So I did, and then I went to a couple of these other. Well, I was able to fly to a lot of the other ones before, the COVID took over. So, and then just had later on having to do it via this, and panels and stuff like that. I was actually on a panel about writers in horror in Paris,
Hmm.
so that was pretty dope. To be there with other writers. I mean, to be considered, a writer for Amityville, and which won that particular festival. So yeah, I mean, they were a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, what used to do the Hollywood, it's no longer called the Hollywood Collector Show. It's just called the Collector Show.
Hmm.
And then a friend of mine runs it. I don't know if he's still involved in it, David. I forgot what his name is, but stuff like that. I mean, those are pretty cool. But now everybody's dead. Everybody from TV shows,
Yep.
the leads, they're all dead. So now I'm getting fourth fiddle, fifth fiddle that's on there. Yeah, I don't want that. I want the leads. I mean, it's a shame, because as we're all getting older, people are dying. People are dying. All the
Yeah.
greats are gone. All the greats are gone. I have a Vanity Fair Hollywood picture, the book. I have 500 signatures on that. Half
Hmm.
the people are dead. So it's like you're not going to see those people again. You're not going to see that type of star again. You're not going to see Hollywood royalty again. The new
Can I
crop that's the
can
new
I
crop
ask,
that's coming up is not Hollywood royalty.
who have you got that has passed away that you got signatures of?
Well, just offhand, Shelley Winters, Marty Landau, Oscar winners.
Hmm.
They're not a drop in the bucket. No, Mark Rydell is still with us. His wife, she passed away. I got her, Joanne Landville. Um, Off of the top of my head, I'm just not thinking about names right now. But
Hmm.
when you went there though, and like there's nobody left to say, um, like whether it be Gilligan's Island or the Munsters or all those great TV shows, Genie and all that kind of stuff. Back in the day, growing up, either one person or two people or three people from those TV series are dead. There may be one or two that are alive. Barbara Eden is still with us, and stuff like that. And it's like Charlton Heston, is no longer around. It got his autograph. So it's people like that. There will never be another time, another Hollywood.
It's funny you mention this because I'm starting to experience this now because I had interviewed Dick Miller 5 months before he passed away. I was so glad I got him.
Yeah.
I had Daria Nicolodi on February last year, and she passed away just this past fall. I
Right.
was glad to get her, and I'm seeing some people that I've interviewed that are passing away. I had Peter Mark Richmond of Jason Takes Manhattan on twice.
Right.
Yep. One that hit
Got
me hard was I had Jessica Campbell from the movie Election with Reese Witherspoon.
okay.
I had her on, and she passed away just before New Year's last year, and she was only 38.
Wow.
Well, I don't know what had happened,
Right.
but I don't know. That one still boggles my mind. I was so glad I got her because she was somebody I really sought after, and
Mhm.
and it's sad to see, especially people that young go. But
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I waited on Dick Miller. You mentioned Dick Miller. I mean, I
hmm
even got it. I have 5 gremlins. I mean, big, huge freaking gremlins. But I have
hmm
this one gremlin. I got Dick Miller. He signed the base of it for me, and
hmm
yeah, I mean, he was a wonderful guy. I mean, Larry Cohen.
yeah,
I was doing an interview. I was doing a documentary about Hollywood at the time, and he was one of the guys that he took me to his house, and him and Lorraine Landon.
hmm
I knew both of them. You know, Larry passed away, of course, as you know. But what a wonderful, wonderful guy, and the stories about Betty Davis and this and that, and it's like, oh my god, you know. I put that documentary to the side, and I just started. For me, documentaries weren't my thing, and you know, which brought me to writing my own stuff and doing my own stuff. But be that as it may, a lot of people today don't care about Hollywood. A lot of the buildings and the places that had names attached to them are gone. Hollywood is West Hollywood, Hollywood. They're just more apartment buildings, more hotels. Let's make this into Vegas. Let's do this. When you want to tear down the House of Blues, when you want to tear down landmarks, but you can't not yet the Viper. When you want, you know, these are where people walked and spoke, and it was, you know, it was different. The Doors,
hmm
you know, people were you could approach people back then, the 70s and the 80s, even though I wasn't into collecting then. I was only a teenager then.
hmm
But the stories that I would hear from people, my friends out here in California, I'm out here in 30 years now,
hmm
but it was different. You know,
hmm
today, they're using the terminology legend, icon, star for a fucking YouTuber.
Oh, gee.
Icon, celebrity, influencer, yada, yada, yada. What the fuck? I'm sorry. Legends, Elizabeth Taylor, Paul Newman, Barbara Streisand, Frank Sinatra. You can go on and on and on.
hmm
Those are icons. Those are legends. That's fucking Hollywood. Not
Yep.
some little, not some little pisher on a fucking YouTube channel. And now
Yep.
SAG is making these idiots eligible for benefits. Okay, SAG,
Yep.
have you sunk a new low yet?
hmm
That just pisses me off. That some of the whatever, and they're using that terminology. The icon, legend, superstar, megastar, even the word star is
hmm
not, you know, it's reserved for people who have the right to be earned to be called that, not some 20-year-old that's selling whatever and telling you to buy this and telling you to buy that, and you've got, you know, 20 million fucking followers. That's not, you don't use icon, you don't use legend, you don't use star. I'm sorry. Fuck that shit.
hmm
That's what pisses me off.
It certainly doesn't describe me. I'll tell you that. I'm none of those
It doesn't
things.
describe me either, but
Mm.
I'm just saying, you know, today's generations, what they consider to be and what was.
Oh, you got
We,
people on YouTube now doing Tide Pod challenges where they're eating Tide Pods and getting their 15 moments of fame. It's stupid.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I mean, people fling words around, and yeah, that's just one of my pet peeves.
Yep.
Other, you know, when they were, that's nobody really gives a shit anymore. You talk about these restaurants that have come and gone. You talk about buildings that have come and gone. You talk about areas that have come and gone. I mean, you wouldn't be where you are today if it wasn't for these people that did this, that went before you,
Mm-hmm.
that opened the doors for you, you know, that made it easier for you. You grew up having the fucking electronic thing in your hand. You didn't earn the right. You know what I'm saying?
You and I grew up in a time where we had typewriters and phones that stuck into the wall.
Exactly. You know, you blocked somebody, you took your phone off the wall, and you just let that hang. That was blocking somebody.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you know, you didn't want to answer the phone. You know, when you called long distance, it cost you. But there was pay phones, and you put the money in, and then another 25 cents for another 2 minutes. You know, but yeah, I mean, that's just one of my pet peeves about Hollywood in itself, since we're just talking about films and filmmakers and stuff like that. You know, but when you just think about the people that have walked before you, have some respect.
Yep.
Have respect for the older people, because you will, hopefully with God, you will be 80, you will be 90, you'll live to see that long. So have respect for the people that are there now. You know, and get your head out of your asses, and smell the roses every once in a while. Put the fucking phone down. I have a guy that lives in my building. He works for some fucking agency. Never shuts the fuck up. He's going to be buried with the phone up his ass. And he's a young kid. I think he's probably in his 30s. It's like, you know, I'm at the point in my life where, you know, my favorite expression is, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care. I'm at that point where I'm comfortable. I dig what I'm doing. I'm writing. I'm spending my own money. I'm doing what I enjoy doing. Nobody can tell me shit anymore. You're not tall enough. You're not good looking enough. You're too fat. You're too skinny. Fuck you. I'm doing my own stuff. I'm doing my own projects. So you can't tell me that. So being older, the point I'm trying to make is, being older, you can smell bullshit a mile away. You can spot the song and dance. You can spot whatever it is they're trying to fucking sell you. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? You know, you didn't invent shit. You know, we've been there, done that. These people think that, oh my God, let's try this. Let's try. No matter what it is, not just show business, but in any, whatever job you have, somebody comes up with something, you know, dude, that was already done before you. People did that while you were still in diapers, and you think you have some revelation that you just threw upon the world. And it's like, we've done that before. You know what I'm saying? You're not the first one. So I have problems with millennials. I have problems with Generation X, Y, and Z, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
You know, these snotty little shitheads. You know, they think they invented the wheel. You didn't invent the wheel. It was already done before you.
Yep.
But then again, you know, it's like I keep telling my partner, I'm like, I'm tired of people that have to give every fucking kid an award.
Yes.
There's no award for 10th place. You know what I'm saying? There's 3. There's the winner, the second, and the third, maybe. That's it. Little Johnny, 10th place. You suck. I'm sorry, that's part of life. It's not nice to say, but that is part of life. You know, coddling people there's a difference between encouraging people. I don't have a problem with that. Kids, I saw this kid that was drawing at this place I was at, and I said, please, whatever you do, continue to do what you are doing because you were given a gift. You were given a God's gift. Don't let anybody tell you not to. Don't let, just stay focused because the kid was like 9 years old, but can draw like a fucking Picasso. That's what I'm talking about. And
Yep.
I'm like, don't you ever let anybody tell you not to. That's a different thing. But
Yep.
because you have to give everybody on the team a little fucking award, I'm like, no, I'm sorry. That's not life. Too bad.
Yeah. I'm seeing that. I certainly didn't get awards when I was young. I'll tell you that.
I didn't.
Nope. But I'll tell you one thing, you're making movies, and The Butcher, that looks great.
Thank you.
I'm more interested in that than a lot of movies coming out. Like, I'm going to see Black Widow this weekend. I'd much rather watch The Butcher.
I heard Black Widow was really bad, so
Yep.
yeah.
I'd much rather watch The Butcher, put this way, Black Widow is my choice between that and Fast 9, Peter Rabbit 2, and Boss Baby 2, out of what I haven't seen at the theater. And I'm like, Black Widow looks like the best of all the evils,
Yeah, well, yeah.
Scarlett Johansson's easy on the eyes, but quite frankly, if The Butcher was playing as a fifth, I would go see. I'm not just saying that to you. I would probably go see The Butcher.
Thank you. And pretty soon you're all going to see Ravage. So,
well, I went and saw French Exit, and I knew nothing about it when I went and saw it. It has Michelle Pfeiffer in it.
right.
I knew nothing about it. I went and saw it because I knew nothing about it.
Right.
Because a lot of movies, they get just advertisement after advertisement after advertisement. And it's like, it just ruins it. And
there's no originality in Hollywood anymore. It's an unfortunate thing. I had a friend of mine who's a script reader for a talent agency. And, if it's not to what they're liking, they don't pass it on. If it's something that they like, they'll pass it on. So, you in a way are stopping good work that could potentially be good work from going through because it's not your cup of tea. What you think is funny, what you think is horror, you're stopping it. And that really sucks for a lot of people that can't get their foot into it because it's not being passed on. See, I would love to see The Butcher remade. It's by a studio because it is a fresh, original idea. It's a fun type of movie. It hasn't been done 1,000 times before. It's not a sequel. It's not, that's all there is. There's remakes. I hate the word reboot. It's a remake. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yep.
What's that other catchphrase that they're using? A reimagining. Really? It's the same fuck. It's a reboot. It's a remake. Any way you want to sprinkle sugar on shit, it's still shit. No matter what you call it, unfortunately, this is the way it is. It's the tie-ins, it's the toys, that's all there is. There's action films. Did you see any film last year for the Oscars? You wanted to commit suicide. It was so fucking depressing. Alzheimer, Nomadland, this and the what's her name, Glenn Close. It was like you just want to open up a vein. Every fucking film was so depressing. I was like, what happened? And that's why it was the lowest turnout that they've ever had at the Oscars. And they think by now putting back 10 movies again to be nominated is going to bring an audience back. You don't even have a fucking host anymore. Last year, it was everybody was blowing smoke up each other's asses. I'm sorry. That's all they didn't give a shit about the audience. Nobody was talking to the audience. Nobody was engaging in the audience. It was me. What do you think about me, my movie, my this? It was for everybody in the industry, and they all blew smoke up their asses. They didn't give a shit about the audience, and it looked it, and it felt it, and that's all they want. Just hand out the fucking awards, man, like you used to do before there was an award show. Back in the 30s, it took 10 minutes. You handed out the fucking Oscars, and the show was over.
Oh yeah, the musical numbers, some of them just take for ages, you know? I'm going to tell you one thing I did like. I loved it when Ricky Gervais hosted there that time. Oh boy, that was gold.
I love Ricky Gervais because he's that guy like I am that he doesn't give a shit, but B will tell you you're blowing smoke up your ass. And it is what it is. You're not rocket scientists. You didn't invent cancer. You're a fucking actor. You have one of the easiest fucking jobs on the planet and getting paid up the ass. Try flipping a fucking burger for a living.
Actually, let me tell you something. I've worked as an essential worker through this pandemic. I'm a cleaner. I like my YouTube and my show is not monetized. I do this because I enjoy it. I work as a cleaner. And when I hear about somebody like Justin Bieber laughing with his friends, pissing in some guy's mop bucket like a spoiled little shit, you know? Yep. But I mean, I just had to spend money on a CPAP machine because I went from moderate to extreme sleep apnea. Then my car stalled on me going down a busy street, and it's still stuck at the mechanic's place, and they don't know what's wrong with it. So I had to spend money on a new car a couple days ago. And it's like, it must be so easy for some of these people to pat themselves on the back. Well, some of us struggle.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't begrudge anybody for that. Some people earned it legitimately. Other people earned it because they had a name attached, nepotism. I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem with people that are just so self-absorbed and so unaware of what is going on. And I have problems with people that don't have empathy for the person like you, for the waiter like me struggling and using my tip money to fund my fucking movies.
Actually, here's one that bothers me recently. I used to, and I'm going to mark used to, be a big fan of Jennifer Lawrence until she went public and said that she doesn't like to do selfies with her fans because she doesn't know who they are. But yet she'll take selfies with every fucking celebrity that she can get near. And then you'll notice when she's in conversations on talk shows, she won't say her best friend. She'll say her best friend, Amy Schumer, because she wants everybody to know that she's in the. Here's the difference between Jennifer Lawrence and Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence had a public wedding. She wanted to make sure everybody knew. Emma Stone, nobody even knew she was engaged to anybody until somebody picked it up privately. She and her fiance got married privately. They had a kid privately, and they only knew she was pregnant because they saw her going around. Emma Stone is awesome because she's not drawing attention to herself. And I love it when Emma brings up her brother Spencer. Emma is still grounded,
Right.
Jennifer Lawrence, I'm like, I used to love her. Now I can't fucking stand her. And I used to be a big fan of hers, but it's like, oh, my best friend Amy Schumer, not my best friend so-and-so.
Right.
Oh, I will
Or
take picture of with my fans. I don't know you. Oh, so Amy Schumer, get over here. Let's take a selfie together. Make sure Time Magazine gets it. Yeah.
just say my friend. Just say a friend of mine. My
Yeah.
best friend. My best friend. You know, I mean, we all, I'm sure, all know people.
Yeah.
I have a very good friend that I am not mentioning this particular person's name.
Mm-hmm.
That but I'm not there to ride this person's coattails. I'm there to become and make my own mark. I'm not there to whip up anybody's name and say, look at me, look at me, look what this person can do for me. This is my best buddy. This is, I'm not that guy. That's why I'm careful in choosing my words.
Mm-hmm.
Again, but I don't want it known because I want to do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ask anybody for a dime. I don't ask anybody, can you open a door for
Mm-hmm.
me? I want to do it on my own merit. So when I do win an award, I do win a festival. I've won 57. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
which is not to be taken, lightly, but I'm not. I'm just. I've earned that right.
Mm-hmm.
I did it myself. I scraped every fucking dime and every fucking penny. I put the movie together. It took me a year and a half. Then you have to send it out and spend money on film festivals. So I'm more happy and more grateful, humbled that I'm getting that type of a recognition, regardless of whether you may only think it's a film festival. But, and there are some big film festivals. It's not just in small little things that I'm winning, but the point of the matter is I'm doing it myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my best friend, whoever, helping me. They could, and I've never asked. So we all might know somebody who can open doors for us, whether they're a celebrity or not, whether
Mm-hmm.
somebody might have an in for you or not. I'm not that guy. If you're comfortable doing that, that's great. I'm not blah blah blah. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm not about myself all fucking day long. I don't
Mm-hmm.
give a shit about that. That's not going to help me doing my next project. Again, I'm filming Ravage as a server at Maggiano's at the Grove. Every fucking dime that I save, I'm
I
putting
love the
away.
fact that we're both doing essential work. You're doing
Okay.
something important and I'm doing something important. I think that's awesome,
I worked during the pandemic. I was there with
Same here.
the shield, the mask, and the gloves. I
Yep.
wasn't just home collecting my unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
And that was both times shut
Yep.
down. I'm fully vaccinated now, but both
Same
times I was
here.
there waiting on these fucking people with a shield, with a mask and gloves on. And it was 90-degree weather outside. And I'm still fucking waiting on them. So, I have no, it just irritates me sometimes with a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
that just don't get the essential workers, that don't get the people that are the front liners, the people that are out there, and then everybody winds up shitting on them because they listen to some buffoon that's saying something's not real, or whatever your political climate is,
Yep.
or what conspiracy theory this or conspiracy theory that, and you don't have all the facts. It is science. Science brought us cures for diseases that we would not have. If it wasn't for science, you wouldn't be able to have a heart transplant, a liver transplant, a this or a that. It's science.
Mm-hmm.
Science is real. Don't say science is not fucking real. It is. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Yep. It is. Well, you know what? I've had a wonderful time chatting with you today, and I'm going to I'm going to forward you to Scotty McCoy, who does a show called Slasher Scotty.
Okay.
And I know he'll take interest in interviewing you as well.
Cool.
So I was actually talking to him yesterday.
Okay.
So he's been on my show 5 times, and I know that he's also an indie filmmaker now. So
Right.
I'm going to pass you on to him and get your films more out there. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. And if there's a chance that we can get The Butcher on Blu-ray, I would love to have the physical media.
I would love to have it too. Talk to my distributors,
But I gotta say, and I don't have the Amazon Prime and stuff like that. But if there's a chance for me to see it, I will definitely look at it. But it does look great. It looks
Thank you.
fantastic,
Thank
and
you.
yep. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else you do, and maybe come next year this time. If you have more projects under your belt, I would love to have you back.
Thank you. I would love to. Just say when, where, and I'm there for you. So don't worry about that.
And I apologize about the Pearl Harbor rant, but you know what?
It's okay.
You are better than that.
I
And
didn't star in the movie, so I took no offense to it.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, like I said, if The Butcher was among those 4 movies playing up there, if it was the 5th movie, and again, I'm not just saying that, I'd go see that over a Black Widow.
Thank you.
So I would definitely go see it. So
that's very nice of you. Thank you. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, well, you've earned it, you deserve it, and congratulations with your success. And thank you for working through the pandemic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
thanks
absolutely.
for having me on your show. Very nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you. A little shout out to Phil Harmon, who has a lot of faith in you.
Yeah, I love Phil. Phil Herman, everybody.
Yes, yes. Well, he brought your name up to me and asked me if I would have you on my show, and I said, absolutely, send him my way. So
he recorded a little something for Ravage, so we got a video of him that's going to be in Ravage. So he makes a cameo.
Is he going to get ravaged?
No. He's just playing one of the guy's dads that he finds this thing, like we've seen in movies, you know, wishing that the dad was more of a dad for the guy, yada, 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 that type of thing. We find this video, and it's a nice, heartwarming, you know, little moment that's in there. So,
okay, is
my battery's dying as we speak.
Okay. Oh, I was just going to ask if Caroline DeGraves is going to get ravaged.
No, she's not in this movie. I'm sorry, Caroline. Another movie. Love to have you, but another movie. Good luck with her. I love Caroline. So
absolutely, we'll get more promotion for you. God bless you, and thank you so much for allowing me the honor. And keep doing what you're doing.
As well.
All right, you take care.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
You as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yep, bye-bye.